Rechician! Hey YouTube, TheDarkRichician84 here with TheDarkRichiciansgirl, and we're doing a deck profile on one of her decks for the first time ever. Melffy's, the only one she's had a go with so far. So let's get into it, and do keep in mind we are not experts on the deck. We don't know what the right ratios or wrong ratios are. Oh, and say hello to Herb, the new Squishmallow.
Oh, and this one. I'm sure loads of you will recognise it.
Disney's Bambi. We're even talking about how, in a way, the Melffys kind of look like Squishmallows and Beanie Babies.
I think more... I don't know. Like Cressidia definitely looks like one.
So, yeah. Let's get on with it, shall we?
Her tag won't fit in the folder.
I think I'll go over what they all do, even though they've been around for 2 years, and in case someone's not familiar with them. So I'll start with the three ofs, 3 copies of Melffy Puppy. Now, for those who don't know, Melffys all have a common effect where if they're in your hand during your end phase, you can special summon them, and if the opponent normal summons or special summons a monster, or if any of these get attacked, you can return it to the hand and then apply their own unique effect. So in the case of Puppy, you special summon a level 2 or lower beast from your deck, except itself. Then we have 3 copies of my personal favourite one, because I love cats, Melffy Catty. Now, you've seen me play this in my cat deck, but yeah, this is your searcher. Return it to the hand to add any beast you want from your deck to your hand, except itself. Then after that, she's also got 3 copies of Melffy Wally, one of the newer ones. This one's very, very good. This is the one that lets you special summon 2 Melffys from your deck with different names, except Wally. Now 2 ofs. What the hell?
Sorry, Mum's making the smoothie.
Oh yeah. 2 copies of Melffy Pony, your recycler. This is the one that lets you add a level 2 or lower beast monster from your grave back to your hand. Then the tuner, Melffy Pinny. This one doesn't quite do the same thing as all the other ones. And the effect is, if a face-up beast you control is returned to the hand, except Pity, you special summon it from hand, then immediately synchro summon a synchro monster using this card and other Melffys in your hand. And during the end phase, if this is in the graveyard, you can target a beast Xyz you control and attach it as a material. And then 2 copies of Melffy Fenny, which lets you special summon one from the hand, except itself. And then the only one that doesn't have an effect, Melffy Rabby. We threw that in just because Emma loves rabbits as well.
Blade Rabbit.
Yeah. And then the last monster in the main deck is 3 copies of Rescue Cat. If you're wondering why Calantosa and Valerie Fawn aren't in it, it's because, well, I didn't think of it when making this deck at the time. But I am going to get hold of them and try and fit them in somehow. But that's it for monsters. On with her spells.
What would you want?
Want a what?
A clown. He pays 1,000 life points, right?
Oh, trust me, there's reasons behind that. So she's looking through her Light Swarm deck at the moment. So we've got 2 copies of Melffy Tag, which is quite simply a quick play monster reborn for Melffys. 2 copies of Melffy Hide and Seek. The first time each beast you control would be destroyed by a card effect each turn. It's not destroyed, and it lets you target 3 beasts in your graveyard with different names, shuffle them into the deck and draw a card. Next, sorry, there's something in this sleeve. There we are. 2 copies of Staring Contest. Another searcher. You can reveal a beast in your hand, add a Melffy with a different name from your deck or graveyard to your hand, and place that revealed monster on the bottom of the deck. And that's a hard once per turn. And then the other effect, which you haven't had a chance to use yet, is at the start of your opponent's battle phase, reveal any number of Melffys in your hand, keep them revealed during the battle phase, and monsters the opponent controls lose attack equal to the combined attack and defense of those monsters revealed by this effect. Then 3 copies of the best spell in the deck, 3 copies of Obedience School. We can both agree that this plus Rescue Cat is the dream hand, because you can get out 5 monsters in one turn and just synchro or exceeds, which is great. And then we have a single copy of Solidarity, because practically everything's a beast, so as long as one type of monster is in the graveyard, in this case beasts will gain 800 attack. And then we have the usual staples of Regeki, Monster Reborn and Twin Twisters.
I'll never get that card.
Which card?
Twin Twisters, I swear. But then I've just seen it here too. Actually, I don't think I've ever managed to get that card.
I don't remember.
Not when you played. Maybe once. Oh, marshmallow.
Yeah, I put that in because I know how much you like it.
Because it's so good.
For the traps, she's got 2 copies of Melffy Playhouse. Detach any number of materials from Beast Exceeds you control, then target up to that many cards your opponent controls and return them to the hand, and all Beast Exceeds gain 500 attack for each detached material until the end of the turn. Then she has 1 copy of Infinite Impermanence, and I know Imperm should be a free of, but this isn't easy to get. We can all agree on that. I mean, if it's suggested, we can bump it up to 3, but again, it's not easy to get hold of. Then Mirror Force, Storming Mirror Force, and 2 copies of Solemn Strike. So there's a variety of monster effect negation. I feel like that's fine, or these could potentially be replaced with 2 copies of Imperm. It's hard to say which card is better, really. I mean, I've always preferred Solemn Strike because it destroys and doesn't target it, whereas Imperm does target it, but it doesn't destroy, but it does have the bonus effects of being activated from the hand, and if it was previously set, negate something in the same column. And that's it for the main deck. On with the extra deck. 2 copies of Merry Melffys, generic synchro, but you can only really play it in a Melffy deck. If this is special summoned, by any way, not just through synchro summon, you can target a face-up card on the field and return it to the hand. Oh no, face-up monster, sorry. Return it to the hand. And if the opponent normals or special summons a monster, or if an opponent's monster attacks this card, you can return it to the extra deck and special summon a Melffy Exceeds from the extra deck. And then for Exceeds, we have one of Emma's absolute favourite cards, just in general, 3 copies of Joyous Melffys. 2k beta, needs 2 or more beast monsters, and you can detach a material to have all your Melffys attack directly, and during the opponent's turn, you can target a beast Exceeds you control, return it to the extra deck, and then special summon level 2 or beasts from your graveyard up to the number of materials that monster had. Then 2 copies of Melffy Mommy. I think this is the hardest one to really use effectively, but we wanted to throw it in anyway. This also needs 2+ level 2 beasts, and once per turn, quick effect, you can detach a beast attach a beast from your hand or face up on your field to it as a material, and
Why do I keep getting them?
this gains effects based on the number of materials attached to it. 3 or more can't be destroyed by battle. 4 or more, you take no damage from battles involving this card. 5 or more, when an attack is declared involving this card and an attack position monster, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's attack. So that's probably going to be very hard to pull off, but if it can be pulled off, oh boy, that'll be great. And then 3 copies of Melffy of the Forest, your other searcher. And it's a generic one as well, but again it really only works with Xyzes. You can detach a material, add a Melffy card from your deck to your hand, and if another face-up Melffy you control returns to your hand, except during a damage step, you can target a face-up monster your opponent controls. It cannot attack and its effects are negated while face-up on the field. And then for other Xyzes we've got Ronin Raccoon Sandayu, really great in this sort of deck, Sky Cavalry Centuria as well, and of course Zeus. Because why not change a soft furry animal into a giant robot that sends everything to the graveyard? And there are 2 link monsters in here. It's the Nightmare package, Nightmare Unicorn and Nightmare Phoenix. Now, these will kind of clash with Solidarity a little bit, because they're not beasts, like if any of them go to grave, but that problem hasn't happened yet.
Oh. You have to Melffy.
Meanwhile, Emma's over there practicing with light swans.
It's hard, 'cause I don't know what the aim is. I know it's to get Judgment Dragon.
That's alright, I can help you out with that.
I'll get them out. Did what that said. Special summon one of them, so I did.
Sounds like you want to try light swans next.
Yeah, I'll pop about a kiss. Oh, that'd be
I love how you used my nickname for it.
Target 5 monsters.
Yep, 5 monsters, yeah.
Any of them, so that one. Is it best to not take the light swarms out of the graveyard, isn't it?
Depends on the situation, really. It's best to try and leave as least light swans as possible when building up to JD.
Let's take Raiden.
That's
That
that.
one.
So,
That one.
yeah, and that's it for the Melffy deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed. We are open to any suggestions you guys have for us. I know somebody's going to suggest Calantosa and Valerie form, but like I said, we're getting them, so don't you guys worry about that. Yeah, they're just, Melffys are just very fun and very cute. I'd even build them myself if I wanted to, but my cat deck is the closest thing. I think someday that'll have to be a matchup that will happen. And of course it was nice to see them finally win a match earlier. And yeah, I will profile my Crystal Beasts. I just want to use the new boss monster plus Awakening and Crystal Boon.
2 level 4s.
Yeah. What was I going to say? The funny thing is, I think this would be another decent Waking the Dragon target as well, just for that bounce effect. So yeah, thanks for watching, see you later, bye everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Dark Richician YouTube channel.